Grappler against Steve Doll and Scott Peterson right now. Look at Terminator go against Scott Peterson in that corner. And there he whips him into the ropes. Coming off the ropes, a hard smash right to the solar plexus again. And Scott Peterson is once again in a lot of trouble. He is really hurting in there. And now a little teamwork one more time by the Terminator and the Grappler. There's a knee lift. Peterson is down. Now remember, if the Terminator and Grappler win this fall, it's all over, and the Southern Rockers will get out of wrestling. That's the promise they have made. Oh, man. Grappler coming off those ropes, laying a boot right on the chops of Scott Peterson. Peterson goes down into the mat, face first. Grappler going for the pin. 1, 2, and Peterson kicks out. Oh. Man, this is too much for just the first match at the Portland Sports Arena, and we're just getting started. There's another chop, and Peterson goes down again. Well, now it can be told. Now listen here. Next Saturday night, right here at the Portland Sports Arena, next Saturday, July the 16th, we're going to have a big 6-man team bout. It's already been signed. Now these are the ultimate in tag team bout action. There's nothing wilder, more exciting than 3 men on each side in a 6-man tag match. You want to make your plans right now to be here. We'll have more information, by the way, on that particular match a little bit later on tonight. Because, once again, Don Owen needs to know who is going to be here. He needs to know if the Southern Rockers will be here. Because if they lose this title match, they're gone. So he won't be able to use the Southern Rockers. Look at Steve Doll doing some house cleaning in there on the Terminator and the Grappler. Now Scott Peterson is in that. We got everybody in there once again. There's a double whip into the ropes goes Terminator. Oh, he just caught it right in the stomach. There's a victory roll. 1, 2. Has he got him? He's got him. Yes, sir. We're all even at 1 fall apiece. Scott Peterson and Steve Doll doing some of that famous teamwork, and we're all even. We'll be back with the 3rd and deciding fall after this time.
But I know deep down inside, tournament or not, I can beat anybody and everybody, and I'll still come out the television heavyweight champion. I've beaten Roddy Piper. I've beaten Rick Martel. I beat Jesse Ventura. The list goes on. I've beaten all the greats in the professional wrestling world. Some still wrestling, some aren't. And I am still undefeated in loser leave town matches. And when it comes to the big ones, nobody has ever beat me, but I've beaten all the biggest names in wrestling, and I'll continue to do so in the Pacific Northwest or wherever it may be.
That's the voice of Playboy Buddy Rose, and there will be a tournament to decide the TV champion coming up in just a little bit. Oh, a clothesline coming off the ropes as Steve Doll is leveled. The Grappler going for the pin. 1, 2, and Doll kicks out. We are down. Time is becoming a factor here. This is the 3rd and deciding fall.
It is a factor, but let me tell you something. Why they added on the extra minutes, I don't know. It should not have been added on, but it was an advantage for the Southern Rockers. You got to admit, that was an advantage for them, right?
It's 50-50. It's tight. 1 fall apiece.
It's 50-50, but if it's only like a minute and a half to go, the Grappler and the Terminator could have stalled out the time, and these guys wouldn't have won their belts back, and they'd have had to turn in their boots and tights, right? But they're going to do it anyway.
Now here goes 1, 2, and Steve Doll gets that shoulder up.
That's the slowest count I've ever seen in the history of professional wrestling.
That's not a slow count. That's slow reaction by the Terminator. Right now, he's being slowed down a whole lot with a series of right hands by Steve Doll. And there's some teamwork by the Grappler and Terminator.
If you say slow reaction by the Terminator, I'd like to see you say that to his face.
I'm not going to say that to anybody's face. I'm just calling it as I see it, buddy.
Like I said, say it to his face.
Right now, look, here comes the Grappler. The Grappler, they've lined up Steve Doll. The Grappler hits the Terminator. Steve Doll moved out of the way, and the Grappler leveled the Terminator. He's outside the ring. And Scott Peterson is all over the Grappler. Scott Peterson with a whip into the ropes. Grappler is down. Now it's looking too good.
It's not over yet till the fat lady sings.
Okay.
All right. Now what do you got to say, Cos?
Well, it's still not over yet.
Till the fat lady sings.
I don't even see a fat lady in here right now. The Grappler going for Scott Peterson.
The
Grappler has got Peterson outside now. Peterson rolled almost into the front row.
Over the top, through the ropes. Over the top would have been a disqualification.
That's right. It was through the ropes and almost into the front row. The Terminator now is outside there with Scott Peterson.
All right.
And the Terminator.
Nice karate thrust.
The Terminator is going to, he can do some very serious damage to Scott Peterson, and he is.
Oh.
There's a hard karate kick right into the mouth.
That should be it. That should be it.
Of Scott Peterson. Now remember, Peterson can be counted out outside the ring. And there's not a thing that Steve Doll can do, although he is coming around to his fallen partner. And Scott Peterson is getting up on his feet. He's leaning against the apron of the ring. The Terminator is outside on the apron of the ring. And we've just got mayhem around here. As Scott Peterson gets part of his body back into the ring, and now once again he's being attacked by the Terminator. Look at that now.
That's tag team wrestling for you. You know, if Steve Doll's that stupid to come in and bring the referee across, and they can take advantage of him, that's where experience come in. That's where the Terminator and the Grappler know how to work together. Same as the Colonel De Beers and myself, same as Avalanche and myself. Experience is what counts. Bodies don't mean a thing. Muscles don't mean a thing in wrestling. I don't care how big they are. I've ran them all out. And you know what I'm built like, 217 pounds. I beat the best built wrestlers in wrestling. They're a dime a dozen. It's experience that counts in wrestling, and wrestling will prove it right here.
Well, there's a chop by the Terminator, and once again Scott Peterson is down. And once again the Terminator bringing down that chop right across the heart. And the Terminator going for the pin. 1, 2, and Scott Peterson kicks out.
1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and.
And he kicks out.
And it should be 3.
Well, not when he kicks out. The Terminator working on the trapezius of Scott Peterson. The Grappler trying to quiet the crowd, and the crowd is getting behind the Southern Rockers. And now the tag is made. The Grappler's in there. There's a shot right into the armpit. And now the Grappler has got Scott Peterson into the ropes. Peterson leapfrogs over the Grappler, and both men just collide.
Double clothesline. They clotheslined each other.
Yeah, well, now who's being hung out to dry? Both of them trying to get to their feet. Peterson makes a tag with Steve Doll, and it's Doll in there against the Grappler. A right hand puts the Grappler down. Another right hand. There's another right hand. And now we've got them all in there. We've got Doll against the Terminator. We've got Peterson against the Grappler.
And we got Sandy Barr all confused again. All right, look at this.
Now, wait a minute. Hold on.
That's Scott Peterson's fault. He's holding the referee. This is it. This could be it. Here come the boots and the trunks. That's going to be a 3 count. I know it. 1, 2. I get the count.
No.
3. All right. Goodbye, Southern Rockers.
Buddy Rose counting up here with it.
I win. I'm always right.
Yeah, everybody saw what happened. The Terminator took that belt off. They used it to...
Sandy Barr didn't see it.
No, so here comes Billy Two Eagles into the ring. He's explaining to Sandy Barr exactly what happened. And somebody should certainly explain to him. Yeah, he got the belt out of the tights of the Grappler. Sandy Barr is going to reverse the decision. He's going to reverse the decision.
No, they're still fighting. He hasn't reversed nothing. The match is still continuing, it looks like. This isn't right. The match should be over. They're still fighting. Wait a minute.
Now count.
2, 3. That was a fast count. I'm going back to the dressing room. I don't believe what I saw, but I got a lot of complaints.
Sandy Barr did keep the match going. When he found out what happened, he kept the match going. And the winners and new tag team champions, the Southern Rockers, Steve Doll and Scott Peterson. And now look what's happening. Oh, man, we got the Grappler and the Terminator attacking Billy Two Eagles. And now the new champions just cleared the ring of the Terminator and the Grappler. Here's Buddy. He's coming back in here.
Did he get that Shindo Maki on him?
No,
on Billy Two Eagles?
He tried to get the Shindo Maki on him.
Look, it did a little damn. That's what you get when you open your mouth. We're going to take advantage of that, Colonel De Beers and myself.
The Terminator did apply the Shindo Maki to Billy Two Eagles, and it's hard to tell whether he had it on him long enough to do the kind of damage that he's done to other opponents around the world with that hold. Let's keep it right here for just a second. Billy At least he's conscious. The last time that was applied, the opponent was unconscious. I think that Sandy Barr had just suspended the Terminator